Watch Dr. Drew's new show at 9 on HLN. Weeknights on HLN.
It goes without saying that divorce is not easy, but a case making headlines right now is especially painful in more ways than one. Elena Giordano is separated. She's a mother raising 2 young children, and she is also battling stage 4 breast cancer. Last month, a judge denied her primary custody of her kids. The judge also ruled that the kids would need to relocate from their home in North Carolina to their father's home in Illinois because of the mother's illness. Elena's attorneys are working on an appeal right now, and Elena is here with us. Also, clinical psychologist Robin Westbrook. I'm going to first talk to Elena and ask you, Elena, you're doing okay, right? Your disease is essentially stable and has been for many months. Is that accurate?
That's correct. In fact, it's been improving. So it's stable, it's maintained, and on top of that, it's been getting a bit better. It's been improving.
Were you stunned at this judge's rulings?
The ruling is definitely outrageous. It was shocking to sit there in the courtroom and have the judge say that she was going to relocate the children, because I have a cancer diagnosis. So it's pretty shocking.
Let me sort of get some facts out. Has your having really what's becoming a chronic subacute illness affected your children's day in and day out life in any way so far?
Absolutely not. They are cared for primarily by me. Every day, just like any mom would take care of their children, they are loved and nurtured. They're thriving at school, and all of their developmental needs and their education is taken care of, and they're just doing great.
So what's being suggested is that in spite of your disease being relatively quiescent and them having stable lives, we're going to transplant them to Illinois, which is not supposed to be disruptive. Robin, how do you respond to that? It just sounds so outrageous.
Absolutely outrageous and very disruptive, I would imagine, for children to be ripped away from their mother because of a cancer diagnosis.
Do you deal with children of patients with cancer frequently?
Absolutely.
And what do you find? I mean, I would imagine your finding would be the children want to spend as much time as possible with the ill parent.
Absolutely. Yeah. They want to spend as much valuable time as they can. Children don't divide their world into cancer and non-cancer.
Well, funny you would say that. I'm going to stop you right there because the judge's ruling, she cites a forensic psychologist by the name of Helen Brantley who says, had this read, I guess, into the court record, quote, "The more contact that children have with the non-ill parent, the better they do. Because they divide their world into the cancer world and a free cancer world. Children want a normal childhood and is not normal with an ill parent." I'll tell you what I normally do with kids where there's any instability in the family is certainly keep everything else in their life as normal as possible. Their peers, their friends, their school. The last thing you want to disrupt is everything else that is their support system, no?
Absolutely, and everything has to stay stable for them. Pulling them away from a mother that's been their primary caregiver just because of an illness is also somewhat sweeping it under the rug, when in fact all the research shows that the most protective factor is to work things through and process it and communicate. Family communication is one of the protective factors in children's functioning, emotional and social functioning.
Let me paraphrase something you're saying that I always say to people, that mental health is about dealing with reality on reality's terms. Mm-hmm. And having a sick parent is something that's very painful, but can be worked through and processed in a realistic way rather than extracted from that parent. Mm-hmm. Wow. We asked the judge, Nancy Gordon, for a statement on her ruling, and we've not heard back from her. Elena, let me play a little devil's advocate here. Am I missing something? Have you been, have you had trouble parenting in some way, or have there been some shortcomings that I guess it's now your ex-husband is sort of pointing at and saying, look, she's sick? Is there something we can hang our hat on to understand this?
No, I mean, my kids are doing fantastic here. I've been the only one here in Durham with them since August of 2010, and they're doing great in every way. They're well adjusted, they're happy, they're completely taken care of, all their needs are met, and really, I've been their stay-at-home mom for 11 years, and I know what my kids need, and they're doing great. So
do you have extended family around you Do you have extended family there in North Carolina? Are there other people as well?
I have a huge support system of friends and family here in North Carolina. My parents are a short drive away. I have a great medical team. My kids have great schools and great teachers, and just in every way they're supported. So
let me ask you two questions. Let me ask two questions, and try to please be. This is going to sound blunt, but I mean you're a patient with cancer, and you must know realistically about your disease. What is your prognosis?
Sure. You know, Dr. Drew, nobody knows what the distant future holds, and I have the best medical team arguably in the world at Duke. They give me hope every day that I can maintain this quality of life and keep caring for myself and my children and live a full life, a fully functional life, a fun life, a life full of energy and love and nurturing with my children for years and years to come. And there's no reason to think otherwise.
All right. Well, there is a reality to this with certain cancers. The longer you live, the better the prognosis. You know, the further you go without progression, the better off. Robin, how do we make sense of all this?
I don't understand why a judge...
Are we missing something?
It doesn't make any sense because cancer, we don't get to choose as parents what comes our way in terms of medical issues. What we're given is how we deal with things is how our children are going to turn out eventually. And she doesn't have the choice about her cancer. She has the choice on taking treatment, taking care of herself, and doing the best she can to parent her children. But even if, and God forbid, if she were to get sicker, and I'm not saying that she is, I don't know the situation, but even if she were to get sicker, my recommendation would be that the children spend as much time with her as possible so that they can really enjoy their mother and get to know her in every stage.
So Elena, I completely with you, Robin. Elena, last question to you. Are you going to lose your kids, and what's that going to be like?
You know, I'm so fortunate. I have this great team of attorneys who are working on filing an appeal right as we speak. And they're going to win this appeal, and my kids are going to stay in Durham in their home with me, their primary caregiver, their entire lives, and continue to live a full, happy life here in Durham.
Okay, Elena, thank you for sharing your story with us, and Robin, thank you for joining us as well. Just from my perspective, keeping kids with their mom is almost always a priority. It's stunning to think of it otherwise. I don't know quite what went wrong here, if we're missing something, but it's hard to make sense of it.